Mother Nature amazes us every day. Sometimes man isn't grateful enough for the oxygen he breathes in, nor for the sun warming him. So today we want to show you this top 5 natural phenomena that baffled the world. Because there's a lot of greatness in our planet, and you just need to pay close attention so you can enjoy it. So get comfortable and enjoy everything you're about to see. Before we begin, make sure you hit that subscribe button to get notified every day for more amazing content. With that being said, let's begin. Number 5. Natron Lake, Tanzania. In Tanzania, there's a lake that turns animals into stone. Dante, in his work The Divine Comedy, described the river Styx as a mortal lake that covered the 5th layer of hell. Lake Natron, north of Africa, can be perfectly one of those corners of our planet resembling that mythological place. Its salty waters, with an alkaline pH greater than 10.5 and a temperature of 60 degrees Celsius, can burn the skin and eyes of the animals that aren't adapted to these conditions. Because of this, it's said they're petrified and then they die. If you're a fan of the famous HBO series Game of Thrones, it'll remind you of what happened to Jorah Mormont in the ruined city of the Sorrows. Obviously, this isn't science fiction, but the real world. Dying after a dip in the natron isn't a complicated thing at all. In case you didn't know, natron was the substance used by ancient Egypt to preserve the mummies. Its waters are of a lively red color, and this is due to the seaweed that inhabits it. It should be noted that these seaweeds are the only living beings, apart from a specific species of flamingo and some fish that stand in its waters. The reason natron's waters are so lethal is natural. It's due to the heat and volcanic ash of the nearby Oldoño Lungai volcano. This lake has been the main star of a photographer named Nick Brandt, who has dedicated himself to the task of collecting images about the disappearance of some species in the African continent. Brandt got all kinds of dead animals on the banks of the natron. The birds were the most common species. Most die when they crash with its calm waters due to the perfect reflection they make of the sky. The minerals resting there petrify the corpses until they become spooky, natural mummies. If you want to see what they look like, go check out the book called Across the Ravaged Land and be amazed by what you'll find in it. Due to the distance from this lake, there are no protections or measures that protect him and the flamingos that take advantage of the small islands that appear in this lake when the dry season comes. Definitely, the nature and evolution of the species will never cease to amaze us. Number 4. Light Pillars, Ontario, Canada. Nature gives us unique moments. Many times we have to wait years before we can see a famous lunar or solar eclipse or a meteor shower. Imagine looking at the sky and finding it full of large, fixed light pillars. In case you don't know, you'd be looking at a phenomenon that needs extremely specific conditions for it to take place. In January of 2017, Ontario residents in Canada were blessed with the miracle of being able to photograph these flashes of blue, white, and orange light hanging from the sky. If Canada isn't your favorite destination to live or to vacation, you can also see them in Alaska and New York. They've even appeared 30 kilometers away from Iraq, so cheer up. You still have the chance to witness them at least once in your life. The scientific explanation of why these well-known pillars are formed is not complex. As you should imagine, it's an optical phenomenon caused when flat and hexagonal ice crystals change the direction of light, in this case towards the sky by a rebound effect. It's incredible. It looks like the light goes through the sky when it's just a simple optical illusion. These lights tend to acquire the same color as the source that provides the light. In the case of the city, this can be the light poles, but what are the conditions for them to show up? Having the places we mentioned in mind, you can assume that for starters, they have to be cities with a very cold winter, so that the ice crystals are produced naturally. For that, the temperature must be below zero and be between -10 and 20 degrees Fahrenheit. There should be no wind, and these crystals have to be very close to the ground. This means the pressure must be high, and there can be no storm nearby because it will stop the formation of these crystals. As long as the cold allows it, you may be able to see them from the cities near them, which differentiates them from the northern lights. Although they aren't hard to create artificially since you only need ice and a fountain that provides the light to reflect, the fact that nature does all this on its own makes it a show worthy of admiration. Number 3. Devil's Kettle, Minnesota. Nature keeps many mysteries. The Brule River gives life to the Devil's Kettle waterfalls. Yes, this spooky name was given by the hikers, explorers, geologists, and scientists who have been studying this curious geological anomaly for several years. If you ever visit it, be careful not to fall into the wrong side of the river. The mystery originates when this stream of water reaches a point when it splits into two. One side follows its path to a common waterfall that empties into Lake Superior, while the other one disappears into a hole in the ground, and no one knows what happens next or where all that water is drained. Therefore, this area is called the Kettle of the Devil. The water has to go somewhere, and it's a logical thing to believe this current must flow somewhere in the Lake Superior. To verify this theory, several experiments have been carried out and none have worked. Sure, you can imagine what some of these attempts were. Throwing ping pong balls, water dyes, and even a GPS to track the water path. None of these objects were seen again. Due to the limestone, the type of rock present in the area, the existence of an underground river is almost impossible. Literally, it's as if the earth swallowed everything that falls into the devil's kettle. Another possible theory to find an explanation to this riddle are the lava tunnels. In Oregon, they're responsible for the disappearance of lakes every summer. However, in the surroundings of Lake Superior, this type of tunnel hasn't been detected because the rock most found in this place is the rhyolite, and it doesn't have the properties to create it. What a problem, don't you think? With 406 meters of depth, it's almost impossible to find an extra entrance of water. Therefore, there's still no proven evidence about the mysterious water of the Devil's Kettle Falls ending up into that lake. It's very likely we'll never find out the destination of this water, at least not until they find a person brave enough to get into the hole and be able to track the destination regardless of the great risk involved. And you, would you dare to solve this natural mystery? Number 2. Earthquake lights. Earthquakes are one of the few natural disasters that can't be predicted with enough time in advance, therefore being the cause of millions of deaths worldwide. They are the maximum representation of the power our Mother Nature has, and the reminder that we're never safe from her. Nothing can prevent it from taking us by surprise, and maybe we'll have to live that horrible experience. The advance of technology and the development of seismology have helped to reduce the damage and the number of deaths that these natural events can cause. From improvements in the blueprints of buildings and all real estate, to sirens that can warn you minutes before the earthquake begins so that you can at least get safe. But would you believe us if we told you that nature is the first to warn us? Yes, leaving science aside, if we paid more attention to its signals, the final result would be very different. But how does it do it? Through the well-known earthquake lights that appear in the sky. Many people in different countries have reported the appearance of mysterious lights before, but always during or after a major earthquake. All kinds of crazy theories run through social networks, UFO sightings, or supernatural signs. However, these lights are real, and terrestrial events in their appearance dates back centuries. In 1973, Jim Conacher took photos of 7 yellow balls of light that floated on a mountain in Canada hours before the earthquake near Cross Sound, with a magnitude of 6.7 on the Richter scale. Other records include the appearance of these lights in the Nagano earthquake in 1960, Pisco in Peru in 2007, New Zealand in 2016, and last year in Mexico. Scientists claim its origin is due to the disruption of the Earth's magnetic field due to tectonic stress, in which the rocks that have quartz within them produce high voltages when compressed. Another theory is that the tensions caused by an earthquake generate electrical problems and turn the Earth's crust into a large battery. They're seen most frequently in Italy, Greece, France, Germany, China, and parts of South America. For now, it may be the only way we have to be alerted of an earthquake, since they usually appear weeks before it happens. Number 1. Hessdalen Lights, Norway. Definitely the sky is the main character if we talk about natural phenomena. Hessdalen Lights are an unexplained luminous phenomenon that takes place in the valley with the same name in Norway. Since the 1930s, its residents began to report the sightings of these strange lights. Between the year 1981 and 1984, the calls increased when there were 10 to 20 complaints in less than a week. The lights are produced in a variety of colors and shapes. They appear just above or below the horizon, and although it may seem unbelievable, they don't remain fixed, but some buzz through the sky at an incredible speed, while others slowly sway from side to side. To see this natural phenomenon, which seems taken out of a movie, you must venture into Norway. Over the years, its residents got a slope that is perfect to watch these flashes of light in the sky. Obviously, the faithful followers of the UFO stories soon created conspiracy theories about a possible alien invasion on Earth. Just imagine what happened after the ET premiere. It's customary that these types of concerns arise when science is uncertain of why things happen. However, certain researchers have some theories about this phenomenon, saying that it's completely natural. Some suggest they're color crystals that are formed from plasma. When they investigated one of the areas in which the Hessdalen lights appear, they discovered that there, the rocks emit higher levels of radiation. And beyond the beautiful image produced by these lights in the sky, it's worrisome that these particles of dust, or radon, are penetrating the atmosphere and then decomposing into alpha particles, which create the plasma and cause these flashes. Inhaling or ingesting this radon is so harmful to human beings that it can develop cancer. The other theory, which is a little harmless, is that the metallic minerals create a natural battery that reacts with a running river, and the lights are created through it. If the last theory were to be correct, one could think of a new way of storing energy. For now, the Hessdalen lights will remain a beautiful phenomenon that can be potentially deadly, and that we'll only decipher in time. Alright, Top 5ers, if you haven't already, make sure to visit our other channel, The Brilliant, for even more interesting list videos that'll blow your mind. But I'm warning you, the videos over on The Brilliant are extremely addicting to watch as well. There'll be a link in the description to the channel, so make sure to come and visit us. Or you can go to our latest video popping up on screen right now. Oh, and have you visited thefinestpost.com to enjoy the most amazing articles you'll ever get to read?